Spirit of Cumbria Oral History Project, Keswick Historical Society, the 21st of March 2000, an interview with Mr. Wilf Ramsden. Hello, Wilf.
Hello.
I believe that this is a house in which you were born.
That's right.
And do you mind telling us how long ago?
1914.
And where were you placed in the family? Were you the first or?
No, I'm the middle of 7.
Oh, and were all the children at home in this house?
Yes, aye. Yes, all lived there.
So
My parents.
It was quite a
It was a
busy
full house.
household.
It's a full house.
house.
Full house, aye.
Yeah.
And my mother was eldest of 12. Mother was eldest of 12.
Quite a big family. So.
And I lived at Cowan's Corner, you know, Cowan's Corner. Well, I lived there, Fishers. And that was a confectionery shop and everything at the bottom. And up above was tea rooms and a hotel. But that was about 1900. The whole family went off to America in 1910, except Mother. Mother was the only one married, so she stayed here. But the rest of them all went over there.
Which school did you go to?
Brigham boys, aye.
Was that just a boys' school at the time?
Yes, I was just boys.
Can you remember anything about it, or any of the teachers?
Oh, I can remember the teachers. Mr. Cowley was headmaster. He was very strict but very fair. He was a good headmaster. But two of the teachers, well, today they would be locked up, I said to them. Oh, do you remember Tiffin, Mr. Tiffin?
No, before my time.
And the other one was that we used to call him Potty Watson. He used to like his pottery beer. He's always known as Potty Watson. But they're very fond of the stick. If you turn around and spoke to the boy next to you, ooh, terribly strict.
But do you feel you got a good teaching?
Oh yes, we got a pretty good education. Of course, they don't educate the things that they do now, of course. It was the 3 hours then, reading, writing and arithmetic. You had to learn all over 12 times table. You had them all off by heart, every one. You had to remember.
I bet you can still say it, can you?
I don't think so. It's all gone metric. It's all gone metric.
And it prepared you pretty well for a job. What was your first job?
Oh, I had lots of jobs, heading boys, you know. Well, we were heading boys when we were 12 or 13 year old. But I had lots of different heading boys, but all different shops in the town, which are all gone now, of course. But the first real job I had after school, I went to be a joiner up top of Welland Street there, Frank Greenow. And another boy from Brigham, George Norris, he went. We both fell out. George said, I'm going home. Put his coat on. And I said, I'll come with you. We both left it. The man sent a note down to the pad and said he didn't think I would ever make a joiner, he said. I didn't think I'd make a joiner. But I finished up. That was the first thing I made, that cupboard there, see? That was the first thing I made. I was 16. And then this cupboard here behind, I made that one later on, all carved. And they make all sorts of furniture. He said I would never make a joiner, but he was wrong.
But you did.
So after that I went to be a painter and decorator, and that was it.
Was there a great deal of work in the hotels and boarding houses for a painter and decorator?
Well, I don't remember going much into the hotels. We used to go a lot of boarding houses and painting outside and that sort of thing. I painted Europe once or twice.
Did you?
I did. Aye. But there wasn't much work then after end of August. That was the end of the season then, till about Easter. But when it got to about February and March, then they all started spring cleaning, you see, ready for Easter, so there was plenty of work then. Then I thought in the summer it was outside work mostly. Aye. Oh, it was a very good variety of work.
You said you were an errand boy sometimes, and with shops that have gone. Can you remember some of the kinds of shops that we haven't got in Keswick now?
Oh, I don't. Well, we haven't got we haven't got a gentleman's shop. You know, if I wanted a jacket for work, a trouser, can't get them.
There's the local shops around here.
Yeah, you would be able to get an anorak, but you couldn't get a decent jacket. Is that what you mean?
There wasn't anoraks in them days. There wasn't any such a thing as anoraks then.
No, I mean now.
Now? Aye, well, how many shops is there now in Keswick? 22 is there? I knew there was about 20. No. Station Street, the main street, Lake Road, St. John Street, full of shops. And they all made a living. Royal Oak Corner, just around the corner, there was 5 butcher shops. 5 butcher shops here at 50 yards. And 2 fresh fish shops. All Mr. Todd and Dalzell's and Hudson's on the Royal Oak Corner, which is now Benetton. Hudson's. Next door that was Miss Pettitt's, the photographer. We had Bell's shop is now, cake shop. Miss Pettitt's. Oh, I could go around them more or less to them all. All the shops. Aye.
Wait a minute. Do you remember the kind of shops there were that you could go to for the things you needed every day?
Oh, well, very amount of shops in Keswick then. But, as I said, I went all around Keswick recently, in every type of shop that I thought was suitable, but a pair of braces. Couldn't get a pair of braces in Keswick. And then eventually I saw some in Field and Stream. I went in there and I got a pair of braces. But that's what it shows, it's odds and ends, little things like that you can't get.
And I expect they cost you a good deal more than they would have done some years ago.
What?
They would cost you a lot more than they did a few years ago.
Well, just take any article at all and think of the prices.
And didn't you tell us that your mother had a shop?
Yes. Over there in bottom of Manor Park, when they built those 3 houses, the corner one was left, the front was left because the planning, they could allow it for it to be a shop. My parents took it over when they were built. That was about 1935, I think. Cut bacon confectioners. And they got a good name for potato pies. They used to come in from Berethit and all about with the cows, they cooked their potato pies. But the secret of it was that they were beautiful pies, but you always had a big pan of gravy. And you brought a little jug, you get gravy, hot gravy. That was the great enticement for them. I was in 35. I met a man, met a man on the street just recently, talking about pie food. He said, I could just eat one of your mother's dirty pies. I says, do you know how long it is since you had one? He said, no. Well, I says, the shop closed at Christmas 1941. He said, I can still taste it.
They must have been jolly good.
Aye, we used to go down Albion Men's Club, you know the Albion, up what was the Albion. Used to have Saturday night dances there. They had a Rochdale and Mrs. Dr. Bernard, they were in charge, I think. And sixpenny hop. And I used to go down there with the big basket with the arm over it, with 2 dozen or more hot potato pies in that hand, and a big can of gravy in this. I used to go up the stairs and turn left into the dance hall. And as soon as I went into that door, and the band was over there, as soon as I went that door, the band just down tools and ran for the supper room. In case they didn't get them. That was Albion the man.
Did you like dancing? What did you do with your free time? Did you like dancing? What did you do with your free time?
We used to go to dances. Every Saturday night there was a dance in the pavilion, a lot mostly, which isn't there now. And sometimes through the week. But we used to have a dance every Friday night. There was a dance in the country villages in the Institute, with Braithwaite, Newlands, Underskidder, Borradale, Thirlmere. We all took it in turn, a Friday night. But it was a long walk home from Rosswaite and Thirlmere, middle of the night. Used to dance till about 2:30, you see. They had to walk home.
After you'd taken a girl home? After you'd taken a girl home?
No. And she'd come home, cup of tea, sit in the chair for 2 or 3 hours and up, go to work. And we went to work Saturday morning. So I think it's different. But spare time, free time, I mean, in the evenings and that sort of thing, well, we're always up on the fell walking and cycling, swimming in the lake all summer, which you can't do now. Oh no, there's plenty of it.
You were never short of anything to do?
No, we made our own entertainment. Made our own. Used to often gather Saturday night dance in the pavilion, all get together, all the boys. What are we going to do tomorrow? Oh, we'll have a bike ride. So Sunday we set out the bike in. Or we'll go for a walk, so we'll go up Scorfellow. It was all the night before. But never a dull moment.
And what about the cycling club you belonged to?
Oh, I belong to several cycling clubs. A couple in Keswick, West Cumberland Cycling Club, I belonged to that lot, and the Penrith Club.
And how far did you go?
Well, we should go to Penrith and there because we used to do time trialling early Sunday morning, very early before any traffic, 10, 25, 50 miles. And Gordon knows about that. But in our head, on the Sunday we should do about 100 miles. Keswick, Cockermouth, Egremont, down to Millham, over the moors, to Broadney Furnace, the Coniston, Ambleside and back home. It was like 100 miles. He said when he left Keswick of a morning, church bells were ringing. No, sorry. When he went through Cockermouth, church bells were ringing. When he got back into Keswick at night, church bells were ringing. Funny how it worked out. Oh, we used to do, well, man next door, but one there, friend George Borden. Do you remember George Borden?
Yes.
Aye. He belonged to Sudbury in Suffolk, George. He was a great cyclist. And then he had a tandem, him and his wife. And Wilf, he says, got a week holiday next week. He said, I'd like to go down home. But he said, Elsie won't come. What about it? I think I must be out of work at the time or something. All right, all. Packed all the tandem up and geared up down there. 2 days down, 2 days there, 2, 3 days there, 2 days back. Nothing bad going, 150 miles a day. But because, as I said, there wasn't a traffic end. It was pleasure on the roads then days.
The amount of traffic there is has made a big difference, hasn't it?
Oh.
What about the traffic in Keswick?
Oh, summertime, terrible, isn't it? July, August. You hardly see people walking down the street now. Too much traffic and narrow pavements, and now it's all changed. Changed.
Shall I give you a pause?
What do you think about the centre of Keswick and the traffic in the centre? What do you think they ought to do about it?
Well, they'll have to cut some of the traffic out, won't they? It's getting terrible now. I don't know whether they can make a full pedestrian precinct, or they're going to have a half and half or what. But they'll definitely have to do something, because traffic's getting more every year, isn't it? Terrible. No, I would like to see, well, Carlisle made a pedestrian precinct. Nobody's taken any harm. It's a pleasure to go shopping there. And Penrith nearly the same.
Kendall?
I haven't been to Kendall for a lot of years.
Never been.
Ah. No, I think Keswick Main Street, if it was made a pedestrian precinct and put a few seats round and a tree or two, I think it could look really nice. But of course, what do the motorists think? They wonder which way to go, wouldn't they?
So we're talking about quite a lot of things that have changed, and some things for the worse. Are there any things that you think have changed for the better in Keswick?
I'm still trying to think. I'm still trying to think.
Well, you live quite near the convention centre. Have you got any memories of that when you were young?
Oh yes, well, there was 2 tents, you see. That one in Eskin Street, where the Ormthwaite house is now. That was the main tent. That held 3,000. And then they went down to Skidder Street because of the extension, and that held 3,000. No, 5, a big tent there, 5. That made 8,000 people, and they're full, and I've known it's quite full. Overflowing this one. In fact, at one time the television sets on the poles. That's 8,000 people. Now, they have one tent down there which I understand holds 3,000. They tell us there's as many people as ever. Well, I say, what's happened to all those 5,000 that used to come? Where are they at? There's not the people come that used to. There's a different type of people as well. They were all, when we were little, there seemed to be mostly middle-aged and elderly people, you know, a real genuine type. And now you get a lot of these young ones and these sessions with the guitars and carrying on. And there's not so many bookstalls now like there used to be. There isn't half. They say it's gone from strength to strength, but you'll ask any old Keswickans, they'll say, no, I think it's going down slowly. Ever since, what was the, about 12 years ago, it was a big anniversary, it was 100 years or something. That was a bumper year, that. That was a real boom. But since then, to me, it's only going. It's not the same. Well, I used to wake and nose up 7 o'clock in the morning, they were singing there, 7 to 8. They were waking us up, you see. And they used to sing 3 hymns. When they sang the second hymn, I thought, damn, I was getting up for work. Aye, so, no, conventions all changed.
What about church going yourself? Did you attend any of the churches in Keswick?
I've been going to the congregational since I was so big. Well, the whole family, the kiddies all used to go to Sunday schools, you know, and when you were ready, well, you just went with the flow. So you went there. And the woman said in the church to me, just recently, says, you had a strange face. I said, no, I don't think so. I says, you was a strange face. I said, how long have you been in Keswick? Oh, she'd been here a year or 2. So I pulled my little Bible out of my pocket. I said, look in the cupboard there. Wilf Ramsden, good attendance. 1923, 24 or something. She said, oh my God, she says. She says, I am the stranger. Aye. And I was just thinking the other day, I can go back about 8 to 9 different vicars, congregational, go right away back. Aye. Oh no, I still go. I don't go every Sunday, but I go most Sundays. But
Oh, that's marvellous. Are there? Is it well attended these days?
not too many in winter time. In winter time they go into the little schoolroom, you see. I mean, but it's small attendance. The big church take a lot of heating, so they go in the little room in winter. But they'll be back in the church for Easter, you see. You know, summertime we get quite a good attendance, get quite a lot of visitors in as well. Aye.
Coming back to the shops, Wilf, where do you do your shopping these days?
Well, if I want odds and ends, I just go round to the spa there. But once a week I go down to the cooperative and put my weekly order in. I say, because I couldn't possibly carry it, but they deliver. It's the only place in town that delivers, to my knowledge. So you go and get your order and leave it with them. Bring it right to the front door, which is a good thing when your eggs aren't so good.
Don't you have a taxi? Don't you have a taxi?
Very often I get a taxi down and walk slowly back. But that's why I go down to the Coop a lot, because it's very good. They bring it right up to the door. In fact, the door opens, puts it on there.
You don't patronise the new supermarket then?
It's get right. I was in this morning, and I think I might be going twice a year, maybe. It's a long way down there, you know. And they don't deliver, you've got to carry it all back. But I just maybe a couple of articles I go down there for.
Do you think that all the little separate shops gave you a better service?
Well, the little shops, like the old ones, are more friendly. You know, the old family shops that we used to know. Everybody knew everyone in. But no, they're much more friendly than the big place. I mean, the big shops I don't care for. I don't like them. It's like going into Woolworths and them places. You go in there and all the time I'm in there, I'm thinking there's somebody watching me, all these cameras, you know. And it's a funny feeling, that. You know, you pick something to look at it and you think, no, that's why I don't like them places. But some things you've got to go, odd things you can't get in the little shops, you see. But, no.
Well, you perhaps haven't often needed a doctor, but what do you think of the health service now compared with when you needed a doctor when you were young?
I've one fault with this health service. If you go to see a doctor, there's about 5 or 6 doctors up there. You've got to wait maybe a week to see him. That's what I don't like. I mean, if you can wait a week, you're not very ill, are you? You go over there to see a doctor, you want attention. Go, come back. Oh, he's on holiday next week, and he's busy the week after and all this business. But I think you shouldn't have to wait that long to see your own doctor. Apart from that, the service is all right. I've no objection to it at all. National Health Service, it's good. And I think up in these small places like Keswick, we're much luckier than they are in these big cities, you know. I mean, if anyone if you take ill, you ring up and it's emergency, a doctor's there in a few minutes. I mean, I've come out once or twice here, but anybody come in room for a doctor, he's been there. So 30 minutes, I've been in hospital in 20 minutes and all this, I was in hospital.
If you had your life over again, Wilf, is there anything you'd do that you haven't done?
I don't know. When I was young, I would like to have travelled more, but now I can't be bothered. I'm quite satisfied that well, I couldn't travel now, but no, so several countries I would like to see.
I think you were going to tell us something about your family from Newlands.
Aye, well, originally they came from Skellige Farm up Newlands, and as far as I can gather, they were there. The nephew went back with their family tree, very keen on that, and he went back to the days of the German miners. That was nearly 1600, so they've been there a long time. We made a family tree out, but they were there till the old folk retired 1884 to 5, and they left Newlands and they came in here when these were built. And they came in here. So I'm the 4th generation. So we've been here since. But I'm the last of the line. I have any children, so I'm the last. So you could call us Keswickians, couldn't you?
I should think so.
I said, are you local? I said, almost.
What was it that you found that belonged to them?
Oh, I've got a suitcase through there full of wills, deeds, transactions, farming stuff, all sorts. I've never got it sorted out yet.
Well, it might be very interesting for the archives.
I'll show you what.
Well, thank you very much, Wilf, for sharing your memories with us. We've enjoyed every minute of it.
Very welcome.